Welcome back. Welcome back. This or that, a Hoops podcast. Me, Matt, and 12 are in the cut as usual. Today we are talking about the Milwaukee Bucks on a great run since the All-Star break. The boys are going to get into the weeds of how they've been playing, what's been going on, schematics, things of that nature. So how we feeling, gents?
Feeling great, feeling great.
Yeah, no, the Bucks have been playing good ball, and as a Cavs fan, it scares me a little bit because right now I feel like that's the second round matchup if both make it there. And just having those two guys in Dame and Giannis, it just always, no matter even if the Bucks were playing like how they were under Adrian Griffin, I know the record was good and they were just visually not a good basketball team. Right now, this team looks like a championship contender, and it's scary. And they should have been this the entire season, to be honest, because they have the personnel to do it. It's just they just didn't do it, and I don't know what Doc Rivers did to flip that switch, but he's flipped it.
No, it's an internal. It's a locker room. It's a locker room thing, dude. The guys flipped the switch. Doc didn't flip any switch. And Bucks fans, comment the kind of job you think Doc's been doing so far. Bucks fans,
shout out to Doc, but I continue to say, Pat Bev effect. I feel like it's definitely
internal.
Exactly what my brother is saying. It takes a collective, and that's something that they had, even though that they were unhappy with Adrian Griffin and said that he lost the locker room. They were still winning however many games, as, that is a process. You don't just walk in and then, just immediately not have the respect of, a new coach, arriving. I feel like a lot of guys, at that level playing for the Milwaukee Bucks definitely we're, looking for something new, even though that I don't know why they let go of Mike Budenholzer anyway. But I think that even with you winning games and you still lose your head coach, they needed somebody that they could have mediate the energy between those cats in order for them to understand what a team is, just because they kind of lost their structure of their whole identity with shipping off Drew Holiday to Boston. You feel me? So I think with Dame stepping in, everybody's trying to figure out their role, but it takes a certain level of attacking the situation in, allowing there to be the functionality, and that takes trust, and that takes comfort. It takes time. You feel me?
Yeah, no. The main reason I feel as though the Bucks have gotten so much better is obviously the defense. They've now had 4 straight games holding their opponent to under 100 points. So credit them. And I mean, they held the T-Wolves to 107, who are one of the best teams in the NBA. I mean, I know their offense isn't spectacular, but still. The reason I think this switch has been kind of made is they were bottom of the league in pick and roll defense, and before Doc took over and post All-Star break, and recently they've went and kind of switched back their defensive coverage on pick and rolls. They're switching a lot more, and when they don't switch, they put Brook Lopez in a heavy drop, which he's been doing the whole time. But when you don't switch it, or you don't have a guy coming over to hedge or fighting through it, that's a Drew Holiday. You can't just, it's a wide open look off the dribble for someone every time. And players in the NBA right now, especially guards, are so talented. It's an easy mid-range or 3-point pull-up if your guy like Brook is going to sit that far back in the drop. But he's playing great defense in the drop. It's just a matter of you're giving up an open shot. So now that you switch it, you're good.
If he's sitting that far back and any guard goes under any screen, it doesn't matter what team or what scheme, that's getting pulled.
Yeah, exactly. Like, think about it. Like, just in the East, you have to go against, let's start at the top, Drew Holiday, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. All of those guys can shoot a pull-up 3. Go to the Cavs. You have Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell. All can shoot 3s. You go down to the Knicks. Oh, wait, Jalen Brunson. He can shoot 3s. You go to the Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton. Huh? Trae Young on the Hawks, true. But, like, just go down the East. You can't play coverage like that if you're not going to have a guy consistently fighting over screens as effective as Drew Holiday did. So you had to kind of restructure that, and Doc has done it, and this defense has been humming.
100.
Real quick, since the All-Star break, they're leading in every defensive category, first place league-wide. Now, strength of schedule is a factor. I know they've played the Hornets twice.
Sixers
with no Embiid, whatever. But they're still NBA players, and you still got to win these games and play well. Pat Bev, this is what 12 was touching on. Like, with teams with a lot of star power and a lot of moving parts, especially new developments, you need someone in the locker room who can hold players accountable. We talked about this. Who did we just talk about this with?
The Heat.
Yeah, we just talked about this with the Heat, with the way that they hold each other accountable. Pat Bev is great at holding players accountable. That's why the Sixers were on such a fat run earlier this year. He was holding that whole team accountable. As much as like the Pat Bev effect is a meme and everything, he does change the culture by, like, I know he was a big reason for Maxi's development, etc. So like I'm a big fan of him being in that locker room, whipping around someone who's soft like a Giannis, not soft, but you know what I mean, and kind of not whipping around a Dame because he knows his place, but not afraid to tell Dame something. I just think it was a great move for them. Great signing.
100%. And that's all it ever is, you know, not even a meme, you know, it's real life, but it shows the leadership that's being brought, and all that is just communication. Communication is leadership itself, just because that's how you win games, by being able to communicate and make sure that, you know, you show up. And if somebody needs help, you also look for help. And Pat Bev doesn't only show up to help, but he shows up to push those guys to, you know, be the best in every way possible. So as soon as they touch down, you know, he's having a conversation with Dame to tell him, you know, this is the reason why you need to take those types of Dame shots a lot more, so that, you know, when the future comes around, because we are a good team, we have the depth, you know, we just have to have the functionality, but the trust within each other to be our best, play our best, but stay in that mode of being able to be locked in. And that takes discipline, and it takes that, you know, aggression that Pat Bev has. And that's what, you know, makes Giannis even more freakier, if you will, you know, for him to play with that different level of tenacity that he may have not gotten from Drew Holiday, that also was a similar type of glue to Pat Bev, that holds that crowd in defense. You feel me? Holds his teammates, you know, structure.
Yeah, I mean, out of their next 14 games, including when we're recording, they're playing Clippers right now. Out of their next 14 games, 12 of these teams are over 500, with a lot of these games on the road. This rest of the month is going to be a big test for the Bucks. They've gotten some momentum going and figured out how to play, albeit against some bad teams, to be frank. But this is the stretch. You're going on a West Coast trip, your next 4 games. Let's see how you play during those games. I think the Bucks are going to handle themselves well. They played really good versus the Timberwolves on the road, but this is a little different. You're playing more experienced teams now. You're playing a Clippers, you're playing a Nuggets, you're playing a Lakers, you're playing a Warriors. Like, these games are going to mean something, especially with how close the Eastern Conference is right now. And Giannis being out, I don't know for how long. He's out tonight, late scratch with a Achilles injury. I hope he comes back healthy. But like, this is the time where you're going to see the real Bucks team. And if they go, I would say if they win 60% of these games for the rest of the month, I'm ready to put them in as that team right behind Boston. I think Boston's just unbelievable, like, so good that I don't know if the Bucks are going to be able to beat them. But hey, it's the playoffs, and the Celtics normally flail out then, so you never know. But keep an eye out for the rest of this month. It's going to be a great March for Bucks fans, to be honest. A lot of good games.
Let's do this real quick. How do they match up against these top teams? Not just how good are they? How do they match up against the Celtics, matchup wise? I mean, I don't think
there's a way you can do it. It just depends on what their scheme is going to be. So obviously the Celtics run Porzingis at the 5, and they have 4 ball handling guys out on the court, and you're starting Brook Lopez and Giannis. If you're Giannis, you're either going to have to defend. This is what you should do. Honestly, you should put him on. No, you should put him on Porzingis, because Brook Lopez being away from the basket is not a recipe for success. He's too slow.
The C's are going to play 5 out.
That's fine. But
so who's going to be close to the basket? He's going to guard Al Horford and stand in the corner?
No, he's going to guard Drew Holiday. I know that sounds ridiculous.
I don't know about that.
It's tough to. There's no real way to stop the Celtics. But if you're going to do it, that's how you have to do it. You have to put Brook on Drew Holiday, because Drew Holiday is he's the 4th ball handler on the team. So you put Drew Holiday in the corner as a spacer, which is what the Celtics do most times. And they've adapted to where Drew Holiday will start to bring up the ball, and you have to change that matchup. You have to. But
they match up well with the Cavs.
Yeah, they have the size to compete with the
They
Cavs.
bully Evan. They bully Jared.
No, we've actually fared very well against the Bucks this season.
Okay, we'll see in a playoff series when the lights get
Damian
bright.
Lillard under 30%.
They match up with when the lights get bright. They match up well with New York.
Yeah, no, I think they match up well. They have a recipe to beat a lot of teams. The only issue is their guard defense has improved, yes, but it's still not good. And come playoff time when the possessions get slow, you're going to be running guard pick and rolls with, for the Knicks' sake, like Jalen Brunson and OG Anunoby. You can't guard that if you're the Bucks. Or
It's
if you're
March
the Cavs.
6th, we will come back to this video. They're going to get clipped by the Heat.
Who?
The Bucks.
They might. The Heat are a good team, man. They're playing really good. Go check out that video. But I just think that there's ways to beat the Bucks easily, and especially with the top of the East being so guard and wing heavy, it's tough for the Bucks. But I mean, hey, their defense is working right now, so you can't really say no. Like, I think we're going to get to see it. I want to see how they defend a Steph. I know it's vastly different than you defend any other guard, but how do you defend Steph in the game you play this break? How do you defend even like a D'Angelo Russell? Like, how is that going to look come playoff time? That's where you get to see these little moments of it. How do you defend a James Harden? If you're watching tonight, how do they defend him?
They're losing.
They are losing because Giannis is out. But hey, well, I'm excited for the Bucks. Bucks fans, you should be excited. I'm curious to see how the rest of the season goes. It's going to be a fun month. I'm going to tune in a lot. But yeah.
Bucks fans, I hate your fucking guts. Shout out Certified Trapper.
Hey, yo.
I waited 12 minutes. No one's even still here. Hey, shout out Certified.
Like, comment, subscribe.